Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Metal Motor Chaos. This is your host, Dave. I got a line special guest, alcohol funny car driver, Robin Stambaugh. How you doing, Robin?
Doing pretty good, Dave. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Oh, no problem. So how'd you do at the Funny Car Nationals?
We did pretty good. I think out of the cars that were there, 28, 27 cars, we qualified number 6 with the 721. It was a fun show. It's always a great show that Denny puts on.
Oh yeah, Mr. Denny Salzwimmer.
Oh, he's awesome.
Great Lakes Nostalgia Funny Car Circuit.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of funny cars out there too. How many were there altogether that day?
I want to say there was 27 or 28.
Yeah, it's always a beautiful thing. If you love nostalgia funny cars, that's the event to be at.
It is. That and Funny Car Chaos, it sounds like.
Oh yeah. So are you thinking about doing Funny Car Chaos next year?
You know, I mean, we'd love to go. It's a little bit far for us. We're in Virginia, but we've been talking about it. We've been thinking about possibly making a trip out there. It really looks like a fun deal.
Yeah, you got a chance to go up against some Nitro guys.
Yep, exactly.
It'll be fun for you.
Mm-hmm.
So now, Robin, how did your career in drag racing begin?
Well, really it started with my dad. He raced the front engine top fuel car in the 70s, and then he bought a funny car in the late 70s and match raced that in the early 80s. I was born in 1979, so literally my entire life there was a funny car in the garage. He stopped racing it for a while, and then bought it back as a fuel alter. But we still have that car today, and all I ever wanted to do was drive a funny car. So that's kind of how I got my start.
So a funny car was the first car you ever drag raced in?
No, actually, when I was 16, I started racing and just I had an 81 GMC little lower truck, and I ran that for just in the bracket races. It's just a street truck, and I think it ran like 15 or 16. And then I moved up to, we have a 69 Nova, just a foot brake bracket car that ran high 10, so ran that for several years. We had a rear engine super comp drag star, made a few passes in that. We actually went dirt sprint car racing for a while, so made some few passes in that. And then first blown car I drove was, I guess it was 2015. We put one of our funny cars, we put an alter body on it and put a blown Hemi in it with a pedal clutch and a Lenko, and that was the first blown car I drove. And then we put this funny car together last year.
So now this funny car is brand new then?
Yes, it's actually a 1978 Start-Safe Pro Cars chassis that's been obviously updated for current specs. And the body is actually 79 original body. It was actually probably built maybe in 75, 76. But yes, it is. It's new. We've had both the body and the chassis for a while, and we just decided it was time to build another car.
So now the body, is that paint or is that a wrap?
No, that is paint. That is all paint and airbrush and pinstriping from the one and only Chuck Buckler. He with Chuck B Design. He's actually the guy that painted the Excalibur car as well. And Chuck's amazing. The first funny car that he ever painted was my dad's funny car in the early 80s. And he's a close, family friend of ours, and he's just incredible. That was all his design, and all hand leathered, hand painted.
Oh yeah, it looks beautiful. I said the car looks beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, just like of course George's car is beautiful too, the Excalibur.
Oh yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The Lizard.
Yep. Chuck likes doing the wild stuff. Chuck's pretty amazing. He can do the wild stuff. He can just do the pinstriping, simple stuff. He can do anything.
Now George did pretty good at Funny Car Chaos.
Yes, I saw that. He did awesome. It was good to see that. I like seeing the East Coast boys do good.
Yeah. So now, where did you get your funny car license from? What track were you at?
Yeah, we're actually at Virginia Motorsports Park, which is right outside Richmond, Virginia.
So who licensed you?
It was my brother and also Gary Pritchett, which is Leah Pritchett's husband, Bunny Burkett's godson. My brother actually drives the Bunny Burkett. So
nice. So now, Robin, what was it like getting behind the wheel for the first time of a funny car?
One word, badass. I guess that's two words, but badass. There's nothing like it. When you're sitting there in the car and, they fire that thing up and the body drops and it's just you in that car and you can see a blower in front of you. That's about all you can see. It's just, there's nothing like it. It's amazing.
So how many runs have you done with the funny car so far?
I think I've had about, maybe about 15 to 20, somewhere in that range.
And what's been your quickest CT?
Quickest CT was 7:03, and that was at Cecil County early this year. And then the fastest speed was 194 at Quaker City in Ohio.
Now, besides your dad, who else was inspirational to you, like other drag racers growing up?
Well, the thing is I've always wanted to drive a funny car, always. But with my dad, it was, you got to earn that. So I grew up working on the car, and I have to say, Allison Lee, which Jim and Allison Lee with the Great Expectations, Top Fuel Dragster from like the 70s, championship winning team, she is just incredible and, just working on the car and when women didn't do that. And her and Kim LaHaye, as far as working on the car, I just love seeing women out there like that. Driving-wise, definitely my dad and my brother as well, because my brother drives, and they're known for long, smoky burnouts, so I'm trying to live up to their name. And then I think for women, I can remember, in the 80s and stuff, going to the track and obviously seeing Bunny Burkett running all over the East Coast and Carol Henson. And it was always neat as a child to see that. But, it's not just the driving aspect for me. It's also working on the car and knowing, what's going on in the car. So I have to say, Jim and Allison Lee, but obviously Allison Lee and, Kim LaHaye, that was big.
Okay, now, how many more events do you have scheduled for the year?
Let's see here. I think we have 4 or 5 scheduled for the year. We're running Island Dragway on this Sunday, and then we're running the big race, Glory Days race at Maple Grove on the 18th, I believe. And then we got a Great Lakes race at Maryland International Raceway in Budds Creek, Maryland in September. We got the Funny Car Frenzy, which is at Atco, New Jersey. And then we've got Super Chevy at Virginia Motorsports Park. And you never know, maybe something else will pop up before the end of the year.
Now, your husband supports you in your drag racing?
Yes, he does. Very much so. My husband, Jeff Schoeman, he's been amazing with it. Not just supporting, but helping work on the car and just he's there all the time. He's my backup guy, so he's always out front of the car. But yeah, he's amazing. He supports me 100%.
Now, do you guys have any kids?
No kids. We have 2 puppies, Bandit and Lenko, but no kids.
So now, besides your husband, are there any crew members for your car?
Yes, me and my brother do this together. Our father passed away in 2011, so we're just continuing doing this, in his name. But my brother Matt Stambaugh and me, obviously, and then we have good friends of ours, Bobby Kapler, who helps us all the time. My brother's wife, Julia Stambaugh, and we have Doug Martin, and we have a couple more friends that come when they can, the Molinaros, and just great friends, and we always have a good time.
Well, that's good. So now, currently, do you have any sponsors for your car?
No, not right now. It's just us.
Now, will you ever put a name on the car eventually, or are you gonna leave it like that?
Well, the name on the side is actually Generation X. My dad's cars were all called New Generation Racing, and his business was also called New Generation Racing that me and my brother both worked in, and we still own a speed shop, which is New Generation Speed Shop. So we figured the Generation X would be a play off the New Generation Racing. So it does say Generation X. It's just kind of small.
No, I was going to say, I didn't even notice it.
What was that? I'm sorry?
I was going to say, I didn't even notice the Generation X on there.
Yeah, it's on the fender over the rear tires. You'll notice it next time.
Okay. So now, can you tell us what goes in the preparation for Weekend of Drag Racing for you, Robin?
Yeah, you know what? We get the car back. We immediately get it out of the trailer and get it all checked over. If we need to check the rod bearings and make sure everything's checked, check the bearings. drain the oil, make sure everything looks good. Keep up on that maintenance. Obviously, check the entire valve train, run the valve. Really just put a, wrench and everything and nut and bolt the entire car to make sure that, everything's good. Get it all prepared, fire it up, warm it up at the shop, make sure everything's good, and get it back in the trailer for the next race.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot to mention that Joey Haas did good at the Funny Car Cast, too.
Oh, yeah, he did good. He's killer on the tree, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I like watching the Friday night grudge match race against Jordan Ballou.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a neat deal.
And his dad was driving the Brutus Alcoa Funny Car.
Yeah, that's a beautiful car. That's actually another one that Chuck Buckler painted.
Yeah, he does great work.
He does.
So now, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on, Robin?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What are some of your favorite tracks to race on?
Okay, well, I'd have to say our home tracks, Maryland International Raceway and Virginia Motorsports Park. They're close to home, and we love them. But, I really love Maple Grove Raceway. Obviously Indy. Indy just because it's Indy. Martin, Michigan. I love Martin, Michigan. I actually used to help do the clutch on Bobby Ladonna's top fuel car for 4 years, and we raced the entire IHRA circuit, and I just loved Martin. It was just an amazing track, and same thing with Epping. I loved Epping as well.
Now, do you prefer quarter mile or eighth mile racing?
I think I prefer quarter mile. I like the speed.
All right. Now, where do you get all your fire safety stuff from?
Well, you know what? I get it from a lot of different people. Obviously, Big Ben over at DJ and Alan Bridges at Simpson, and I've got some Taylor stuff. My helmet's Impact. Kind of spread it around a little bit.
Sounds good. Can you tell us about your engine a little bit?
Yep, it's a 490 cubic inch Keith Black Hemi, and it's got a 1271 blower on it. And that's all aluminum. Everything's all aluminum.
Now, you running on Hoosiers or Goodyears?
Right now we're on Hoosiers.
How's that working for you?
Yeah, they're working pretty good. We're not having any issues with anything, so we like them so far.
Okay. Now, Robin, do you have any advice for anybody that's listening that might be thinking about driving an Alcoa Funny Car?
You know what? I would just say, pay attention, watch when they're around, and if you've got anybody that watch what they're running, how they're running, and the cars that run good, just procedurally. And if they have anybody that they know that runs the car, then talk to them and you just talk to them about it and see what they want to do, what kind of combination they would want to run.
Now, what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your drag racing career?
Man, that's tough. To be honest with you, I don't have a lot of driving milestones yet, because I just started out. But, we match raced a lot with our family cars, for a lot of years. And I think, all the wins with the family cars were a big deal, and just, racing with the family. But, when we ran dirt sprint cars, we won sprint car championship. And the year my father died in 2011, we were actually going to our championship at Virginia Motorsports Virginia Motorsports Park, in what was called a 410 index on an 8th mile. We have a blown rear engine dragster with pedal clutch and Elenco in it. And when my father passed away, it was in the middle of the season, and we went on to win that championship, and that was pretty special. But I would have to say, I've won several Ironman with the Ladonna's cars, and that was amazing. And I also worked on a pro front-wheel drive when the Sport Compact stuff was real popular, and we won a Dopey championship with that car, and won actually several Wallies with that as well in NHRA. So it's hard to pin it down to one, but as far as, and that would be, just working on the cars and everything, it's a lot.
So out of all that stuff, what would you consider to be your fondest memory?
I think probably racing with my family, racing with my dad and brother for a lot of years, and going, traveling up and down the East Coast and the Midwest. And, there was a year we ran 24 races with 2 cars everywhere. We were running somewhere every single weekend, if not 2 times a weekend. And that was some pretty awesome memories to be able to do that with my dad and brother.
That's nice. So now, what have you had any accidents or near accidents at all in your racing career?
Well, it's interesting you say that. Yeah, actually, at Quaker City last weekend, the brakes didn't work in my car and actually went off the end of the track. Um, Nothing was really damaged. The body was hurt a little bit in the front, but Chuck Buckler and the guys over at Classic Custom Coatings took care of that and got it all fixed up. But chutes came out, but no brakes, unfortunately. So a little bit scary, but thank goodness I'm okay and the car was okay.
Yep. Knock on wood, you won't have any more accidents.
Man, I hope not. And I wouldn't even consider that one an accident. It was just, it just ran out of room. It was going fast with no brakes and just ran out of room.
Now, how did you meet up with Denny Salzwimmer?
When we were racing our other funny car, we have another Corvette funny car that's red with flames. Back probably when he first started the group, my dad heard about it, and he gave Denny a call, and we raced with Denny before. And so that's how we hooked up with him. We ran a lot of his races, years ago, and then, came back out just this year with him.
So now, are you and Krista the only two females in that group right now?
I'm sorry, you said.
I said, are you and Krista Massarella the only two female drivers?
Yeah, I think so. Actually, yes, I think so.
Now, have you gone up against her yet?
No, not yet. She's a good friend of mine, so I can't wait to do that. We'll have to do that one of these days. She runs an injected car, so we might have to, stagger the tree like she did when she ran her husband a couple of times. But that would be awesome. That would be really fun. We'd have a good time with that.
Man, husband, Chris, he won 2 years in a row now.
Yeah, he's hot. He's got that car dialed in, and everywhere he goes, he's a threat to win, and awesome burnouts, and they just have a really, really good deal going on.
Yep, they do. So now I'm gonna ask you some fun questions now, Robin.
All right.
If someone said, Robin, here's $200 million, I want you to build me a brand new drag race track, where would you think about building a new drag race track, and what kind of features would you want to put into this new track?
Let's see here. Well, I'm not sure where as far as a state, but, I would say somewhere out in the country somewhere where you've got plenty of land, so you don't have any issues with neighbors or anything like that. So you got plenty of land to build a state-of-the-art complex, with lots of features for the family, good snack bars, nice playgrounds, good bathrooms, some things fun for the kids that they can do in between rounds and stuff like that. And, nice tower and just a really nice track and have big shows there. I'd like to have big shows every month, something every month, whether it's, a big pro mod race or a big funny car race, dual altered race, something like that. Just something to get the fans out there. Jet cars, everything.
Okay, now, would you ever want to drive a nitro funny car?
Yeah, I think so. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But yes, I think so.
How about a pro mod?
You know what? I think pro mods are pretty tough to drive. I would love to, try it and see. I don't have a lot of door slammer experience as far as, a 10-second car isn't the same as a pro mod, but if it had a clutch in it, I'd definitely want to drive it.
All right. Now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
That's a tough one. Racing takes up so much of our time, but I like going to the dirt track races, which is another racing, and I guess the only other thing I do outside, which is, I play on an adult softball team, so, do that in the spring and the fall, a co-ed softball team, so I guess that would be the only other hobbies outside of racing.
So, no gardening?
No. No gardening. I don't have a very good green thumb.
Nah.
My thumbs are always too dirty from working on the race course.
Okay. So, with the Great Lakes Nostalgia Funny Car Circuit, who's been your greatest competitor?
I would have to say Chris Mazzarella. I would have to say him. He's really has.
All right. So I know you said earlier you won some Wallies and stuff. So how many Wallies and trophies and stuff have you won through your career?
Well, with it, as far as Ironman for IHRA Ironman with the Laguna Top Fuel Car, there was 3 of those. 2 of them at Epping and 1 at in Grand Bend, in Ontario, Canada. We had the Nopi Championship, and then I want to say Wally's with the Sport Compact car. I think there was about 5 of them. During that year running that car.
Okay, now, if you were able to do time traveling and go back in time, would you do anything differently in your racing career?
No, you know what? I think everything leads you to where you are today. So, I mean, it would be great if I would have been able to get my driving career started a little bit earlier. But again, I think that everything leads you to where you are today. So I'm pretty good where I'm at.
Okay. Now, if you and your husband ever have time to go on a vacation, do you guys have a favorite vacation getaway?
Anywhere at the beach. I love the ocean. Anywhere at the beach or tropical, anything. Just take me to the water.
All right. Now, what's your favorite food to eat?
I'd say Italian. I'm not Italian, but I love Italian food.
So now, do you cook too?
I do. Yep, sure do.
So what's your favorite dish to cook?
Probably lasagna. Which goes back to the Italian.
Exactly. What's your favorite beverage? You know, it could be alcohol, non-alcohol, whatever.
You know what? This is going to sound so lame, but I love water. And then I love sweet tea and unsweet tea both. And then if I was to drink something alcoholic, it would probably be vodka and something. So whether that's a screwdriver, vodka and cranberry, something like that.
Alrighty. Now, do you watch movies at all?
I do sometimes.
All right. What would you consider to be your favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm not sure about that. But I guess I have to go back to the racing thing. I love American Nitro. That's with the 70s funny car is just awesome. And, you know, being a girl, I like chick flicks too. And I love Sweet Home Alabama. I've loved that movie forever.
Is that Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Now, do you watch TV shows at all?
Not very much, honestly. Not home too much for that. I try to catch racing when I can. You know, I tape that, but not really too much on the shows. I do love Scandal, but that's gone now. So.
Now, when you're at the track, do you have any certain eating habits, or you eat regularly?
Actually, normally when I'm at the track, I eat very light all throughout the day. I don't like anything real heavy sitting on my stomach, so usually maybe just some vegetables, and I love to have ice-cold watermelon at the track. So, but very light until after we're done running for the night. Then I'll eat something.
Now, if you weren't drag racing, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh, that's hard. That's hard. Probably working in the family business, you know, doing something involving cars and involving the aftermarket industry.
What's your favorite music?
Ooh. I will tell you, I like everything. I really do. But I would probably say my favorite genre is probably classic rock. But, you know, Boston, Journey, you know, Van Halen, I think that's classic rock. Whitesnake, the Eagles, you know, that sort of stuff. Anything, if you turn on a classic rock station on the radio, whatever comes on that, I really, really like.
All right, I'm going to give you a tough question here. Do you have a favorite band of all time?
A favorite, what was that?
A favorite band of all time.
Oh, gosh. No, I don't. I can't even think of one right now. Oh.
How about top three? You have a top 3 favorite bands?
Let's see. I really like Journey. I've always liked Journey. And I like ZZ Top. And I like Whitesnake. But that's tough. I mean, you could probably name all those classic rock people. You could name 50 of them. I'd probably tell you those are my favorite too, because I love everything.
Oh yeah, Foreigner, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, all this stuff.
Oh yeah, how could I forget Led Zeppelin? Yes, of course.
Now, how important do you think it is for the families to bring kids out to watch drag racing these days?
I think it's super important. I mean, they're the next generation of fans and drivers and everything. And, you know, I think that's huge. And I think it's huge that the tracks and the promoters, you know, do things that involve the kids and, you know, have things for the kids that they like. But yeah, I always like seeing kids out there, because I can remember when I was growing up, you know, we were at the track, and, you know, it was amazing. And that's what makes you want to do it later on, whether that's, you know, working on the car, just being a spectator, or actually driving.
Yeah, but when you were kids, you didn't have the cell phones and video games and all that stuff.
No, I think, we may have had like an Atari and a Nintendo, but we were outside. We were in the garage or riding bikes or, playing sports, stuff like that. It's a little bit different these days.
Now, do you get a lot of kids come in the pit area? Do you put them in the driver's seat of the car when it pits?
Yeah, we've had some in there, and we've definitely, put some people in the driver's seat to see what it's like.
So now, if people that are listening to this interview right now want to see where you're going to be at for the rest of the year, what's the best way to find it online, the schedule?
Well, we don't have a website right now, so usually I just post it on my Facebook page on where we're going next. That's usually what I do right now.
Well, Robin, I want to thank you very much for taking time to interview tonight.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you having me tonight.
Now, do you want to say any final words to anybody listening out there?
No, I just want to say thanks to everybody, and thanks, obviously to my family and crew for supporting this crazy dream we have, and thanks to all the fans. They're really the ones that make it happen with coming out to the races and allowing us to do what we do.
Sounds good. Well, thanks again, Rob. We'll do another one in the future.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.